NASA, the National Aeronautics and Space Administration, presents Aeronautics and Space Report.
ASTP, Apollo-Soyouz Test Project, will be a joint mission between the United States and the Soviet Union in July 1975. It is the result of an agreement signed in Moscow last year by the President and Soviet Chairman Kossyguine. Astronauts Tom Stafford, Vance Brand, and Deke Slayton have been selected to fly the mission. Astronaut Stafford will be in command.
Apollo-Soyouz Test Program. This mission is formulated to prove out a common rendezvous and docking mechanism between the United States and the Soviet Union, and to facilitate a rescue mission that could be available in case of any problems that could arrive in space, and also to further the cooperation between the two countries in space.
Already, U.S. engineers and astronauts have traveled to Russia for planning and training sessions. So, too, the Soviets have visited the U.S. for the same reasons.
And then in the summer of '73, this summer, the cosmonauts will come here for a period of 1 month or longer for initial just familiarization, because we can't have a complete joint training. We don't have the mock-ups yet. But then this fall, the astronauts that are available will go to the Soviet Union for a period of time for familiarization with their operations.
We asked astronaut Stafford to outline the flight sequence of events.
The mission starts with the Soviet Union launching a Soyuz spacecraft with two cosmonauts from Traité, and then 7.5 hours later, as that spacecraft's orbit swings over the Cape, we will launch a Apollo-Saturn spacecraft booster combination with 3 astronauts. And then we'll start a series of catch-up and phasing maneuvers, and finally we should rendezvous with the Soyuz approximately 50 hours after launch from Cape Kennedy.
Once joined together, the pair of spacecraft will stay docked for 2 days, with the crews transferring back and forth and conducting joint experiments. The mechanism that will allow the 2 spacecraft to meet and join in space is shown here in small-scale mock-up form.
Well, the one thing I think this shows what cooperation can do. Both countries have gotten together, and we have invented a better mousetrap. By using some of their ideas, some of our ideas, we now have a docking mechanism that is better than our Apollo mechanism, but also it's better than their Soyuz mechanism.
About overcoming the language problem, Stafford had this to say.
The basic agreement reached so far is the fact that we will talk in our own language, and the other country will be able to understand. Now, by the time that we actually fly the mission, I'm sure we're both going to be familiar enough that we can talk back and forth for the specific action item in each other's language.
Although much work is yet to be done to prepare for the joint mission, astronaut Tom Stafford is optimistic about the test project.
Well, it certainly has to carry out the basic premise that it was put on, as far as the demonstrating the capability for cooperation in space and for rescue. I think also, since the interest of both major countries in the world and the rest of the world will show that if we can cooperate and have understanding in good faith in this area, which is so difficult and so technical, they can have it in many other areas.
Apollo-Soyouz Test Project, the first joint manned space flight between the United States and the Soviet Union.
This has been an Aeronautics and Space Report presented by NASA, the National Aeronautics and Space Administration.